I was gonna open with a joke, but I decided to go with something a little bit more personal. I don't like celery. All right, let's get into it. I'm an idiot. It's 5 minutes with Fern. All right, that's my stupid, silly attempt at cheesy intro music. It's 5 minutes with Fern. I am your host, Fern. Oh, excuse me there. I had a little trouble getting that to roll off the tongue. I want to thank everyone for joining me. If you didn't have a chance to, please subscribe to my page. That way you miss not another episode of this gloriousness. I don't know if it's really gloriousness, but whatever. Anyway, on with the show. Also, too, if you haven't had a chance to, please go back and check out that first episode of 5 Minutes with Fern. Now, before you do, I have to let you know that it's a little touchy. It's some real shit from the bottom of my heart. Basically, I talk about how I can't focus and how I'm not over my ex, which is 3 weeks later, and I'm still not over my ex. And actually, if you really want to know the truth, I over the last 3 weeks since I've done that first episode, I think about her more now in the past 3 weeks than I have in the past 3 months. So, with that being said, let's move on to the show. Last week, like I said, if you checked out the episode, it was about how I was in my feels and stuff. And, I think we all get in our feels every now and then, especially after breakups. Breakups aren't meant to be easy. Especially if you're the one not, doing the breaking up and you're the one being broken up with. But one way that I like to, actually, there's a couple ways that I like to work through the process of breaking up. And not just in breaking up, like, sometimes you just, you're down, you're in your feelings, whatever it may be. There's certain couple things that I like to do to give myself that little monicum of hope that life isn't that bad and that there is a happy ending out there somewhere. One of the ways that I like to try to get over my when I'm feeling myself is I created a playlist. Actually, if you want to, you can check it out. It's called My Sad Girl Playlist. It's on Spotify under Black Dynamite 44. I'll go ahead and I'll leave a link in the comment section, so anybody who wants to join me in some sad girl music. It's basically just like breakup romance music and stuff like that, Anyway, so go ahead and check that out. Actually, yeah, follow me on that page. I'm always adding more and more, sad songs or whatever. But yeah, so one way is I like to listen to sad music. I think in most situations, I don't know why, but it makes me feel better in myself and I shouldn't say about myself, but the mood. It fits the mood when I listen to sad music. And then another way when I'm in my feels to try to help shock myself out of it is I like to watch rom-coms. Now, when I say rom-coms, I'm not talking like romance movies that, had a couple of scenes where you laughed in them. Like, there's a difference. Like, I'm talking, like, I'll give you my top 3 rom-coms, so that way you have an idea of, like, what I mean by when I say rom-coms. And romantic comedies. Not to say, like, a romance film that has, like, a couple of scenes of, laughing or something like that. So, my top 3 rom-coms, and I'll start from the bottom up. So my number 3 on the list, and it just recently got bumped to my number 3. It was my number 2. Is She's Out of My League. I like that movie. It's a nice little underdog. The guy gets the girl at the end of the movie, even though he's not really supposed to be with that girl. I like cheesy shit like that. That's just me. My number 2 is and this is my recent number 2. And it's slowly moving up to be my number 1. I watched it again the other day. Is Always Be My Maybe. I like that. I thought that was a cute, little cheesy, corny rom-com. Again, the male lead in the show or in the movie ends up with the girl that he's really you would consider like they're not supposed to get. Well, what most people would be like, well, those two aren't supposed to be together, blah blah blah. But happy endings prevail, and he ends up with the girl, despite their differences in life. And that one, that really, I guess that one is I'm almost moving up to my number one spot, because that one hit a little bit close to the heart there, because I feel like that's, not the full thing that happened to me, but like part of it, like two different worlds, but anyway, let me keep going before I get sidetracked. Always Be My Maybe is my number 2 rom-com. And then my favorite rom-com of all time, like I love this film, I adore this film, I watched this film like a bajillion times, is Fools Rush In. I love that movie. I especially love Selma Hayek in that movie. I think Selma Hayek is gorgeous. Anyway, but her being gorgeous has nothing to do with the film or anything like that. It helps, it's an added bonus, but she's a great actress. And also too, I think Matthew Perry in the film, the both of them, I just think it was it's a really cute film. Again, I like corny, cheesy shit like that. So, but those are my top 3. Before, and then to like Something About Mary. Those are shits that I consider rom-coms. Now, if you're talking like romance movies, like that's completely different. That's a whole nother show topic. Well, briefly, I'll get into it. Like, so when I talk about romance movies, I kind of think more stuff like, so this is my top 3 for as far as like romance, like, and it's just whatever. I'll just give you the names. Untamed Hearts is my number 3. That you should check that out. That's a really cute one. One Fine Day. Oh, I love that movie. Again, cheesy shit. It's not like a rom-com where it's all like the slapstick humor and shit like that. But again, happiness prevails, and the couple ride off into the sunset. Whatever the fuck. And then my number 1 romance movie is Sabrina. I love that movie. And not the original Sabrina, the one with Harrison Ford. I think those are my top 3 romance movies. Now, you may disagree with me, or you may agree with me. Either way, I don't care. But yeah, so but again, like there's a difference between romance movies, because romance in general is the genre, and then the romance has like a bunch of subgenres under that. I'm just talking about rom-coms. And then I don't know. Lately, I've had this discussion with several people, especially when talking about rom-coms. Everyone's like, "Oh, what about Harry Met Sally?" And I'm just like, "What about Harry Met Sally?" Again, this has been a debate with several people. I don't consider When Harry Met Sally a rom-com. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not a great film or anything like that. I just don't consider it, like, when you compare it to Something About Mary, I just feel like they're 2 different films. Yes, it is a romance movie with some comedy in it, and that's where that's where I'm gonna leave it. Anyway, this has been 5 Minutes with Fern. My 5 minutes are up. Don't forget to subscribe. Like it. Bloop, 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 bloop. Leave me some comments. Let me know what your top 3 rom-coms are. Let me know what your top 3 romance movies are. Anyway, this has been fun. I'm gonna head out of here. This has been 5 Minutes with Fern, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Deuces. And we're still recording.